Putting your art out there is really important. Especially through comics, I think it's a great way to express the way you feel and also work through it. It helps you see other people's viewpoint through problems that you thought you were the only one experiencing it. My name is Katie.so. I'm from Vancouver. I draw pictures for a living. I tattoo. I freelance as an illustrator. Generally, if anyone needs something drawn up, I'm the one for the job. I've definitely treated art as therapy in a way, whether I knew it or not at the time. Well, I started a series of zines, and the first one was called Destined for Misery. I just had a few comics that I had put online. I continued doing them because I found when I put them online, they really resonated with people who were also struggling with mental health issues and anxiety and depression. And it also helped me in a sort of therapeutic way to make work that helped me work out my feelings and realize that the way I felt wasn't just bad, and there were people like me that I could share those feelings with. So I did a follow-up called Attempts at Positivity. I felt that people were only seeing the negative parts of it and were kind of wallowing in that, and I wanted to avoid that and make people realize that I was making these comics that had a touch of humor because I wanted to laugh at my issues in a way. I was trying to use those feelings of heartbreak or whatever that means and show that it wasn't the end of the world and that you can use it to create something if you want to. And then the third one that I kind of treated as the final installment was called Settling for Sorrow, which was kind of the final statement in saying, well, I guess this is it. It's not ideal, but I'll settle for it. I think a really successful cartoon has words and images that are complementary to each other. If you can frame something with beautiful images that help to explain a story in a seamless way, then you've succeeded. Dirty Knees was an art show with all half-Asian artists, and the show basically was just talking about how we dealt with that sense of identity and what it meant to be half Asian here in Canada, trying to explain to people what that identity really meant. It can cover so many subjects, whether it's gender or race or any sort of personality, so I think it really connected with people when it came to understanding who you are as a person on the inside versus how you display yourself to other people. That was really cool to see so many people relate to that message. When I first started tattooing, I really didn't want to draw for tattooing. I wanted to tattoo my drawings. Black Medicine Tattoo started just as kind of a collective of all of our friends. We started a shop that I don't think really existed at the time, and it was more about making art and expressing yourself through a medium that just happened to be tattooing, which was really interesting and exciting to me. And sometimes I'll just do what they call freehand, and I'll just draw it directly on the skin. So I'll do like a little marker sketch, and then they can see if they like it, and then we tattoo it. It takes a lot of trust to do that, for sure. Vancouver especially, we're really lucky here. The attitude is very much about collecting. Whereas people used to buy paintings and collect art from artists that way, people are now collecting art and just having it on their bodies, which is pretty amazing. With tattooing, it's important to consider the shape of the body and the place of where and what body part you're putting this art, because it is important to think about how it moves and how it'll age. It's definitely something to consider in terms of composition, the same as you would on a piece of paper. It's just a different shape that moves constantly. Getting tattooed is a very vulnerable experience. It can be very painful, but it can also help you process a lot of things, whether it's the way you feel or if you want to reclaim a part of your body with art. I think it's a really important emotional journey that you can take through physical pain, but also you get a lot of benefit afterwards. For my illustration work, I do everything by hand, whether it's pencils or brushwork. It all starts on paper. In commercial illustration, I think it's less important to put your own personality in it because you're trying to please a client and create something for a specific reason that doesn't always have to do with you. But you're also being hired because of the work that you do and because it looks a certain way. And I think having a style or personality that is in your work is inevitable. I think it's something that just comes through. And that's something I really struggled with when I was first starting out, whether I had a specific style or not. And it took me some time to realize that it was there, whether I tried or not. And just kind of owning that and just leaning into that as much as I could and realizing that it wasn't something I had to try too hard at, because that's when you fail. I just hope that I can continue making art for a living. I feel lucky and shocked every day that I get to do that for a living now. And I just hope I can continue doing it.